Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at a couple problems. Since I'm not going to be here on Thursday or Friday, I thought you ought to be able to do some of these problems. So, number one that we're going to deal with is number 50. For number 50, if you look at this and you go, I don't know what to do with this, what if I gave you something like this? A squared plus 3a minus 130 equals 0. Hopefully, everybody looks at this, and because it's basic algebra 1, you say, oh, that's 13 and 10. And so you say, parentheses, A, and we're going to have a plus and a minus, and a 13 and a 10. And in this case, you could solve it by setting each piece equal to 0. A equals negative 13, A equals positive 10. Now, this works the same way. E to the 2x is nothing but e to the x squared. So if I do the exact same thing, except for instead of a here and a here, how do I break up e to the x squared? E to the x, e to the x. Still get a plus, still get a minus, still get a 13, still get a 10. And I can still set each piece equal to 0. So e to the x plus 13 equals 0. E to the x equals negative 13. Take the natural log of both sides to get rid of the inverse natural log. And so you have x equals natural log of negative 13. Over here, we have e to the x minus 10 equals 0, so e to the x equals 10. Natural log both sides, x equals the natural log of 10. Now, this is all good. This is not good because if I have the natural log of a negative number, that is not within my domain. Now, just in case you're not sure, here we go. We're going to take natural log of negative 13. Answer is error. And the reason is the graph of natural log looks like this. There are no negative numbers in the domain. So this is not a solution. That is your only solution. Now, down here, again, this is nothing but algebra 1. Because, again, you're like, well, I don't understand what the 8s and the 4s. And it's okay, guys. It's okay. If I said 2a squared plus a minus 1, hopefully everybody could solve that. All right, and you'd have 2a and 1a. And you would have plus 1 and minus 1. But now, if I did the same thing, what if I have a to the 8th and a to the 4th? Well, I'm going to break a to the 8th up into a to the 4th, a to the 4th. So when I do this times this, I get a to the 8th. Well, the same thing is going to apply. Parentheses. To what, 1, what? And I get a minus 1 and a plus 1. Well, what do I do to break up e to the 8x? E to the 4x. E to the 4x. And it works the same way, and you solve it as above. Remember, you can't have negative numbers. Next, down here, let's solve this. Well, my problem is I can't just e everything. By the way, I hate that. I cannot take the inverse natural log of everything. I have to combine these two terms. Since it's a plus sign, natural log of x times x plus 2 equals the natural log of 63. Now that I have one natural log here and one natural log here, take the inverse natural log of both sides, and you get x squared plus 2x equals 63. At this point, it's algebra 1 again. So we're going to say x squared plus 2x minus 63 equals 0. Break it up. X, 7, 9 plus minus equals 0. And so x equals 7, x equals negative 9. Now, you also have a problem because both of these are not solutions. If I plug this back in, ln of 7 plus ln of 7 plus 2 equals ln 63. Yay, that works. It's okay. But ln of negative 9 does not work right out of the gate. So that's not going to work. So let's take a look at those and see where we go from there. Let's take a look at these problems. Again, same basic principle. I can't just take 10 to the power of and get rid of the logs. I got to move pieces around. So I have log of 5x squared plus 4 equals log of. Now, this is going to be division, so this goes on the bottom. This goes up top, but be careful, it's 3x squared squared. At this point, I can get rid of the log base 10s, and I have 5x squared plus 4 equals 9x to the 4th over 2x squared minus 1. At this point, I can cross multiply because, again, algebra 1, algebra 2, 5x squared plus 4, 2x squared minus 1 equals 9x to the 4th. You get 10x to the 4th minus 5x squared plus 8x squared minus 4 equals 9x to the 4th. Move this over to here. X to the 4th plus 3x squared minus 4 equals 0. Factor, factor, ladies and gentlemen. X squared, da-da-da-da-da, solve it. Again, Algebra 1, Algebra 2, you are pre-calculus students. You are expected to do this. If you have trouble doing this, come see me. Let's work it through. But there is no unreasonable expectation here. Now, this is a little different down here because I have a 2 that doesn't have a log in front of it, so I can't combine it like I did up here. What I can do, though, is if I gave you 6x equals 4x plus 2, what would you do? You would combine by subtracting 4x. So, in this case, we're going to take this whole term that's added and we're going to subtract it. And so I have log of 50x minus log of 2x minus 3 equals 2. At this point, what do I do with logs that are minus? That's going to be division. And so at this point, I can use the definition because there's no log over here to cancel. And if I try logging both sides, then I get a log, which makes no sense. So this is base 10. So I say 10 to the second equals 50x over 2x minus 3. Then again, I have rational functions, so I'm going to cross multiply. 100 times 2x minus 3 equals 50x. At this point, it's algebra and solve. It is not an unreasonable expectation for me to expect you to be able to solve for x using algebra. Okay, so that's a whole bunch of extra help questions. Hopefully it helps you out. Make sure that you go ahead and do the assigned work from in class, which is likely the evens. Thank you.